Yeah.
Fresh beverage.
Fresh beverage, twisted tea that I was just kind of talking shit about. I'm going to give it a chance.
All right.
Let's try it real quick.
All right.
Not bad. Tastes like an Arizona iced tea.
Fresh beverage for a fresh segment.
Exactly. On to the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets are the 2023 NBA
Congrats
champs.
to them. Congrats. First one.
Like I said, first time in 47 seasons. They won games 3, 4, and 5 to close out the Heat. Nuggets won.
Slapped them around.
That's also what we call a gentleman's sweep. Nuggets won game 5 on Monday, 94-89.
Really, their toughest game probably outside of the loss, of course, but
This was a final score straight out of like 1993.
pretty much. That might be high scoring for that era.
This kind of score screams Knicks versus Heat 1994,
right.
1995,
Yeah,
something like that.
That's. I mean, I don't know if you remember the finals in the early 2000s, like with the Spurs and like the Nets or whatever, like 70s scores.
You know, the earliest finals I remember watching vividly was I want to say either the Heat versus the Mavericks in 06, and then the Spurs Cavs 2007.
Yeah.
I just remember that giant ass NBA Finals trophy being in the middle of the court, which they should bring back. It's very tacky and it's huge, but I'd be
You're talking about on the floor?
On the floor, like right in the center court.
I forgot about that. Those were gnarly.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Like it takes up the whole center court.
Right.
So I would say 06, 07 is when I really started watching like NBA Finals.
Yeah.
From there on out. Tough game for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Playoff Jimmy did not show up in Game 5. It happens. 5 for 18 on field goals. He had a bad turnover, plus a bad 3-point attempt in the final minute.
That was rough to watch.
The final shot by him was not. Even Van Gundy said you didn't need to do that.
Right. Yeah, they could have gone for a quick two. There was a lot of time left.
And I understand you want to be the hero, and you are the guy. He is the guy. He
Yeah.
is. But it just, and it's easy for us to say, we're sitting here on a podcast drinking twisted teas, telling a professional how to do his thing.
Two white boys with a podcast.
Exactly. Nikola Jokic closed out the series, 28 points, 16 rebounds. That's Kevon Looney territory right there.
Stop. That was good though. That was really cute.
And he had 4 assists, which didn't we talk about when he has 4 assists game or less than 5?
Yeah, low assist games.
They don't win games, but they won this game.
Oh, they had to grind this one out, so this is one of the rare times that they actually pull it out.
28-16 though, that's
a closeout game.
That's Shaquille O'Neal-esque.
Yes, 100%.
Shaq could probably go 35 and 18,
Yeah.
but
well, he would expect you to have 40 and 20.
yeah, it's right.
It's not barbecue chicken unless it's 40 and 20.
I'd love to know how many games in Shaq's career that he had actually had 40 and 20.
Probably not too many. They weren't scoring those kind of points back in his
He
day.
might have had it a couple times.
Maybe a couple, but
Like in that Nets series when they swept him, he probably had 40 and 20.
I'm saying in his whole career, probably fewer than 10, 40 and 20 games.
Oh, I would say not
Maybe 5.
I'd say maybe 5.
Yeah,
fewer,
maybe 5.
5 or fewer.
Yeah.
Because 40 and 10, that is...
40 and 20. Or sorry, 40 and 20 is what I meant to say.
Yeah, 40 and 20, that's like Kevin Love. I think he did that once.
Yeah. Remember when K-Love was on the Timberwolves? He would just put up big time numbers.
No, I remember. I think he literally put up a 40-20 game. I think he had a 20 rebound game.
He probably did. Did he have a 60-point game or something close to it?
We have to look up his old numbers
He
used to
do some
a
things.
savage.
He used to do some things.
He was the third guy on the Cavs, and he had his ring. He has his ring.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. But he was a dog.
Oh yeah.
I don't even think he was putting up numbers like that at UCLA. Like what he did back then, like he's gonna be a Hall of Famer in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame
For sure.
But people forget he was that guy back in Minnesota.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got a fucking scrap in the soccer game right now. Who's throwing hands? Come on.
This is looking like Giants Cardinals from a couple days ago. Nikola Jokic won Finals MVP. He averaged 30 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, doing his best LeBron James impersonation. But he shot 58% from.
He's Mr.
The field.
Efficiency, man.
He's just.
Something about him.
He makes it work. He plays the game at his own pace, and you have to respect it.
When he's within 10 feet, you're fucked. And when he's just got the ball, around the perimeter, you're still fucked.
He's the first player in finals history to have a 30-point, 20-rebound triple-double, and that was in Game 3. That's
a fucking stat line right there.
Shaq didn't do that. I'll tell you that much right now.
Definitely didn't get the assist.
That's barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
You got 30, 20, and 10.
Yeah.
Sorry about
It's
it.
ridiculous.
You're not stopping him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned Jokic. Obviously, we're going to mention him in general. But Nikola Jokic right now is at this rare opportunity that few get now. Because when we talk about greatness and wins in the finals, who do we think of? Michael Jordan.
Right. Yeah.
So Nikola Jokic, like Michael Jordan, in his first year winning a championship, went and won in his first year, and also got Finals MVP.
Yep.
And I'm not going to sit here to say Nikola Jokic is going to win 6 finals and get 6 Finals MVPs, but he is on that possible trajectory that people like LeBron James weren't on. Your boy Steph Curry didn't get the Finals MVP.
Right.
I don't know if, Tim Duncan never, he might have.
He probably got some Finals MVP or 2 maybe, but even so, like
Kobe Bryant.
no one's putting them in that conversation. Yeah.
So he's
got a chance to be an all-timer.
He's got a chance.
Yeah.
And because I think when the Nuggets are in the finals from here on out, if they make it again,
You're gonna put your chips on the Nuggets, right?
well, I'm gonna say I'll put my chips on him winning the Finals MVP.
That too.
Because Jamal Murray, he's a dog.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna win the Finals MVP. I don't think.
Unless it gets to that point where maybe he's older and he's not doing as much as he is, but they still have a great team around him, he's gonna be the guy.
Yeah.
That's putting out those numbers that are gonna be hard to overlook.
Also, guys like Kevin Durant, first finals he went to, he lost.
True.
So Jokic, he could be something special. He's not going to win 6. He could. I don't think he's going to. But he went there for his first time and won, and that's tough to do, man. It's really tough to do.
No doubt. Also, Jokic and Murray became the first teammates in that same Game 3 that we just mentioned about his 30-20 triple-double. First teammates to have a 30-point triple-double in the same game in NBA history ever. Playoffs, regular season, regardless.
When I first heard this, I thought this wasn't true because I remember that game in the finals that I think it was game 5 or game 6, 2016 Cavs Warriors when LeBron and
Kyrie
went for 40.
Yeah, they might have been the first 40 pieces.
But they didn't because Kyrie's not a triple double guy. LeBron might have been close, but I think I went directly to that.
Right. They were both 40-40 guys, though, right?
But I think they both in game 6. I want to say because it wasn't game 5.
No,
I think it was game 5.
I think it was 5
because that was
they both just went off to get that W to extend the series.
That was the no Draymond.
Right.
And they went 40-40.
Yeah.
Which was an incredible duo. But yeah, it's hard to believe in the history of the NBA.
Not even in a regular season game.
Yeah, it's
the thing though now is that the game is played a little differently. There's a different pace than it used to be played at, and I a lot of guys do stat hunt a little bit. Obviously, you wouldn't do that in the finals necessarily, but there's more buckets to be had in today's day and age.
So the Denver Nuggets, are they destined to be a dynasty?
It kind of feels that way, man. I mean,
You really think so?
I mean, if you think about the recent dynasties, they got their first one, and the guys were like, take the Warriors for an example. Theirs was a little unorthodox because they brought Kevin Durant in eventually, but when they got their first one, those guys were like Clay was like 24, 25, Steph was 26 or 7, Draymond was 24, 25. And that's kind of similar to what we got with the Nuggets, where Jokic, I believe, is 27. Jamal Murray's 25, I think. Aaron Gordon's still in his prime.
Aaron Gordon, underrated player in this series.
He had a great series.
I never thought Aaron Gordon would be anything close to what he
I think
was.
I have it right here. I think he shot like 60%. He did. He shot 60% from the field and 55% on threes.
Hey, and a lot of his stuff's probably close to the basket, but still 60% shots. That's 60%.
Yeah, I mean he only took 9 threes, but he made 5 of them. That's, he was actually, the worst thing he did was his free throwing, which is only 7 out of 15.
Yeah.
But we can overlook that when you're a champion and you produce like that.
So I'm going to ask you this question because I've heard this on podcasts that I listen to. What is your definition of a dynasty?
To me,
what do you have to do in order to be a NBA dynasty?
you got to have probably 3 titles with the same core.
I would agree.
Two, you could be fringe if you're like constantly going or in the mix, but I'd say 3 is probably the magic number with the same core group of guys.
3's tough. Like the Miami Heat, the Heatles. Would you say they were a dynasty?
I don't. That's tough because it was thrown together, and LeBron really was only there. Was exactly only there for those 4 seasons that they went to the finals. That one's kind of one of those tweener ones. But like the Spurs were a dynasty. Tim Duncan won his at a very young age, and then they kind of revamped the roster with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili as stars on that team.
So to answer the question, I'd say, are they destined to be a dynasty? I'm going to say no. I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm going to say no. They won this one. It's great. They look like they're a really great team. They really are. But I know the Bucks are coming next year. Giannis, he has to figure it out. I think the Celtics, Jason Tatum might not be him, but I think he's still going to come out and play.
Celtics are going to be around for sure.
And your Warriors, you could laugh at it, but I think I don't think Steph Curry is done winning big games in the playoffs.
I think that they're going to have to do some revamping of the roster, but I don't think it's impossible for them to be interesting at least again.
And the Lakers, I think they have to do a lot more to get to that point. But I think they could have something to say.
Yeah, I feel like they are based on the points I already made, but it's going to be a lot tougher this day and age because the talent that keeps coming out, especially out of Europe, there's more European and international guys that are studs. I mean, we got Big Vic. Who knows what he's going to be? Oof. He could easily turn in, and we're talking about him as one of the best prospects ever. He could easily turn into a top 2 or 3 guy in the NBA in 5 years. I think it's just going to be a lot harder to win consistently, which is why they might be the betting favorites going into next year, but it won't be as obvious as you might think it would be.
Is Jokic the best player in the world right now?
I'm going to say yes. I think he has such an impact especially obviously on the offensive end each and every night. It doesn't seem like he ever has bad games, and he can kind of do a little bit of everything on offense.
It's hard to disagree with that.
I mean, I get the arguments for, say, Giannis. I'm not going to give it to Embiid because Embiid is kind of who Jokic is, but in a lesser version.
I think it still could be Steph Curry, man. I'm telling you, Steph Curry is just he's ridiculous.
He does some things that no one else can do, but so you could say so does Jokic, given who he is. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, he's a playmaking center. Like he's not even a score first guy, and he still averages like 25 a game. He averages 30 in the finals.
My top 2 would probably be in between Jokic. Or no, I'll say top 3 is no particular order. Jokic, or Giannis, and Steph.
All very unique players too, which is what makes them special.
So for Miami Heat, what's next for them? What do you think?
Well, I think the Nuggets with their talent prove that culture, favorite word, culture and chemistry can only take you so far, and because obviously this team was just clearly not as good as the Nuggets. Yep. But I don't think they're that far away. Obviously, they made it to the finals. I think going after the best player you can get this offseason should be the focus.
They should.
Obviously, Damian Lillard was asked recently, I think on a podcast, if he wants to stay in Portland, but he said if he could go anywhere, the Heat would be one of his top options. I think that could be a move. What say you?
Was anybody happier than you that the Heat lost because everyone stopped saying Heat culture?
No, I didn't really care that much. I know I made it seem like I did a lot, but I just got a little tired of the whole Heat culture thing when they don't win a championship without LeBron in like 15 years plus.
Lillard, I think he could pick anywhere he wants to go. I think the Trailblazers will probably trade him to an Eastern Conference team, so I'd say this could probably make sense.
You would think. I mean,
Maybe the Celtics instead of Chris Paul.
Celtics could be interesting. I always felt like that could be a good, but then you'd have to probably give up Jaylen Brown, so you'd have to be willing to
What
do that.
about the Bucks get rid of Middleton?
Well, that's not going to be enough. I'd say you'd have to go Drew Holiday, and is that the move that you want to do? You want to go for an offensive guy over, a two-way guy? Because Middleton's not going to be. I mean, Middleton's actually kind of old at this point, and hasn't been effective in a couple years.
I really want it for Damian Lillard. I really want him to.
I think a lot of people do. I would agree with that.
Because he's stuck it out so long, and he loves Portland. I think Portland's getting to this point where they're like, I think we kind of want to rebuild, and we know you don't want to be here for that.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I think he wants, he's getting older himself, and he wants to win a championship.
Yeah,
he wants to prove that he is.
He can be the guy on the team.
He can be the guy, and he can be in that group of being the top 75 and be deserving of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys are like, oh, Damian Lillard made it. Like, how?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is, he had an interesting case because obviously eye test, you're like, oh yeah, this dude's cold. Like, he's a killer. But
Stone Cold score.
he has never had the supporting cast to get it done.
No.
Which is obvious. So I would love to see him on the Heat, honestly. I think
That'd
be
be
a perfect
cool.
perfect scenario for him. I think him and Jimmy, two pretty hard-nosed guys.
Yeah.
Guys that want to win.
Guys that work.
Yeah. Guys that work.
Guys that work.
Blue-collar motherfuckers.
Blue-collar motherfuckers.
They don't fuck their mothers, but they're motherfuckers.
I have a couple NBA notes that I wanted to mention real quick.
Sure.
So our friend, Brett Obranovich,
Mm.
who said the A's would win 50 games a couple years ago, we haven't forgotten.
They might win less than 50 this year.
Okay. Different years, but yes, I'll give him that. He might be the best good luck charm
For Denver?
for the state of Colorado
Yeah.
ever, because the Avalanche won last year.
Yep.
And the Denver Nuggets won this year. I think
Nice.
I texted him that same thing.
Fucking Bert, dude.
Bert, he's loving it.
I miss that guy. He's coming back into town. I don't know if you heard
He
about that.
texted me.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm coming back into town in July, I think he said.
Can't wait to see that guy.
I was like, I better see you. And he's like, yeah, I better see you too.
It'd be great if he came the week of trivia so he could test his knowledge.
God, yeah.
If I knew he's coming, I would intentionally put a Colorado sports question on the
You'd have to.
trivia.
Yes.
Just in honor of that guy.
You'd have to.
Love him. Miss him.
Also, it was a bad couple days for South Florida teams, man. Between the Heat and the Panthers,
No.
they are.
It's a good thing the Panthers weren't playing the Avalanche. It would have just been a royal. They would have hated the city of Denver for the rest of
That would
the rest of
I
the
didn't
time.
even think about that. That would have been nasty. But luckily for them, they have somewhat good weather. They probably all look good. Those Floridans.
And they quickly forgot about the Panthers loss. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
The Heat, the Heat are their team, kind of.
The Heat or the culture.
Yeah.
And I got one more thing I want to say about the Miami Heat. And you might think this is crazy. Borderline bold prediction. I'm not sure.
We haven't had one in a while.
Jimmy Butler's number will be retired for the Miami Heat. And I got two reasons to think that. Tim Hardaway's number is retired. Alonzo Mourning's number is retired. Those two guys never led them to the NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler.
So you're thinking because they hand him out like candy on Halloween that he's going to get his number retired? I think you're right.
I guess in a sense, yes, I'm saying that because Alonzo Mourning was an OG Heat, and so was Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
But those guys together never did what Jimmy Butler's done for the Heat.
Tim Hardaway was a ring chaser, wasn't he?
I think
in a sense for that team.
I think he was one of the original Heat players when they first started the franchise.
Oh, really? Well, he was there for that long. Before that, because he was on the. Was he on the OC team?
No, he wasn't. I don't believe. No.
Oh, I'm thinking of Gary Payton.
Alonzo Mourning was on that team.
He was. I'm thinking of Gary Payton.
Yes,
Gary Payton was the ring chaser for that team. You're right. Okay.
But Alonzo Mourning
Was on.
He won that championship, and yes, him and Pat Riley are boys.
Yeah.
Every time we see Pat Riley, it's like Vader and Palpatine. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But Alonzo Mourning never led them to even.
Okay.
I don't even think a finals appearance.
No, I wouldn't think so.
And Jimmy Butler has led them to two.
Yeah.
And I have to think this is almost a guarantee that Jimmy Butler's gonna have his number retired.
Well, and that fan base loves Jimmy Butler.
And I think Jimmy Butler loves playing for this organization.
Oh yeah.
He has said in the past that he loved playing in Philly, and I think he even said he still misses Philly. But I think he does
it seems
respect
like
respect Heat culture. His number will be retired.
seems like a better fit him in Miami. Jimmy is the Heat right now.
Obviously, Shaq's number is retired. He didn't really lead the Heat to the championship. That was more Dwayne Wade, whose number
He was the kind of the Robin in that situation.
Chris Bosh's number is retired already.
It's already retired.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Dwayne Wade, of course, he
Oh,
is. He is. When you think of Miami Heat, you think of Dwayne Wade.
Pretty much.
And LeBron James will be there. I know between him and Pat Riley, it's kind of probably still a little bitter. You know, he left,
Yeah.
and then he came back and beat them as a Laker. You know, it's probably a little bitter. But LeBron James, he might not get a statue, but he should get his number retired, right?
I would think so. Yeah. So yeah, I agree that he will.
Okay, so it's not really bold.
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we're both out of our minds.
No, I think his number will be retired.
I think it will. I agree with you.
And I'm telling you, Udonis Haslam, I had this one of my OG bold predictions. His number will be retired too.
I could see that. What does he wear?
40.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can have that, Raptors.
So Jimmy Butler, your number will be retired by the Heat. I can tell you that much right now.